Good morning, everybody. It is March the 8th, 2016. Time to kick off another trading day. The news overnight, Chinese exports down 25%. Japan's GDP minus 1.1%, if memory serves me correctly, but lower than forecast. And those are the two factors that the financial press is given for the markets to sell. Germany's industrial production was 3.3% positive. Well, probably 3 percentage points above any of the estimates. That was ignored. So every equity market in the world is lower, except for China's, which was barely up. Today's news, I think it's already behind us, is NFIB small business optimism index is expected at 94.2, but that's like almost having no news. So with the financials, what we're left with is the direction of the ES in crude, which maybe the direction of the ES is dependent upon crude. It has been. And then the 3-year auction. And because of the 3-year auction, our bias is up. That doesn't mean you just buy it blindly and trade from the long side with impunity. They have to move the market back and forth to move this paper. But with all the chaos that goes on in the world, if you look at the immigration problems facing the EU, if you look at having to change your society to accommodate these Muslims that have been led into your countries by design, without a chance to assimilate, and actually without the will of the host countries to even try to make them to assimilate. It's just really amazing what you see that's going on. And not the best people to be letting into your country if you want stability, if you want life as you become accustomed to. So we like the buy side, 5 to 9, number one, 29 to 01, and it really gets down to which way is the E-mini going to go, but we still like to buy into weakness. Okay, resistance, you can just see it right across here at 20. You can see the last rotate up yesterday in B period was 2 days ago was 16.5, then in C period was 15. So the 16 to 20 area is pretty good resistance. So 15 to 19 sell 1, 23, 27 sell 2. And that's it for the ZN. Really, direction of the E-mini / crude, and the bias comes because of the 3-year auction, which is almost always a good one. Looking at the 30-year, strong market overnight, big rally. Resistance starts at 24. So 23, 27, sell 1. 3 to 7, sell 2. On the buy side, we have the single print starting at 03, then another single print at 09. Support at 13, so 9 to 13 is near support. Buy 1. And 29 to 01, buy 2. Okay, James, if you're new to the Treasury auction game, the 3-year and 2-year almost are always subscribed. Coverage at 3 to 1 or greater. Most of the other Treasury auctions are like 2.5 to 1. And the big reason for that is that banks can put 2 to 3 year paper on their books, and they're not marked to market. They're carried at face value, which count towards capital requirements. And the other one, when you look at our capital account, our international capital accounts, if you don't want the threat of inflation, and if you don't want dollar fluctuations to play, you buy 2 to 3 year paper to recycle those dollars that we sent to your country to buy goodies from you. So that's why the 2 and the 3 year are always pretty strong auctions and pretty good ones. Okay, 9 to 13 is probably maybe a little aggressive on the buy side on the 30 year. Buying against the buck, I think, is a better trade, but I don't know if it'll get down there. And we'll have to see how she plays out. Probably more information than you wanted to know, James. Okay, gold. We like gold. Last night we came into gold hoping to buy the 60-62 area. The low was 65-67, and that's where. So we got this really good support, 60 to 65 right now, and we have resistance 75 to 80. I think gold is headed for 1300. So 79 to 81, sell one. 84, 86, which would be new highs, sell two. Really not too interested in the sell side. On the buy side, 71 to 69, buy one. And 65, 67, buy two. Looking at the euro, and Goldman came out overnight and told Draghi what he's supposed to do come Thursday, and they want a 20 basis point cut in interest rates and a bigger commitment to QE because they are behind the inflation power curve. What they're doing is too little too late, which is pretty typical of what governments do. Too little, too late, or too much, too often. Almost always guarantees the wrong result or less than desired performance. So right now, looking at, we've got this 33-35 area. We have the last rotate up, so 30 to 40, sell one. 50 to 60, sell two. On the euro, on the buy side, I like the short side. It's a B. It looks lower to me. So 110 even. Buy one. I think we're headed for 975 for buy two. So those are the numbers for the euro. Crude actually can sell. You know, if you look at the, once you get past the short squeeze based on supply, it's hard to see how crude can rally, but rally it is. And the articles at the end of last week were talking about how the shorts in the hedge fund community have been forced to cover. And the market will go up until every buyer has bought, and then it'll come down. So we're looking at our 38.50 number, and if we get to this 38.50 number, the next high volume area is this 39 and a quarter. So 38.50, 39, 39 and a quarter. So that is resistance, 38.50. So 50 to stops above 50 to 75, sell one. And 39 even, 39 and a quarter. Obviously the market is trading higher, and you'd like to see some rejection before you laid into the short side of the market. Looking at the buy side, the last rotate down stopped at 64, so 50 to 75, buy one. And then 37 even, 37 and a quarter, buy two. And the E-mini is trading up, probably lockstep with crude right now, and that has been the case. We'll do a London split on the E-mini, and the low came in here. And remember, we talked about yesterday this number, like a limit buy against this. And you say, oh great, Charlie, it was yesterday. And this even does more to reinforce my point. The safest place to have resting limit buys and limit sells are against these volume nodes most recent in the market's memory. And the market almost always will cross one volume node. So we've got volume here, and we've got volume here, and we expect this volume node to be crossed to get down to this volume node. And that's exactly what happens. So if crude continues to rally, my guess is we're going to trade up higher. The news today, like I said, Germany's industrial production was ignored. Chinese exports decreased by 25%. Japan's GDP number was revised a bit lower. And Germany's numbers were ignored. Chinese and Japan's numbers were taken into account. So here we find ourselves with resistance starting really at 95 and for then 2003. So the sells 94 to 99 and then 4 to 9. And if crude trades higher, I imagine the E-mini is going to trade higher. On the buy side, 80 to 85, a resting limit buy at 82.50, 83, picks up that number right there. And then it's 70 to 75 for buy 2. This concept of volume and structure is new to most people. Most people trade price, and obviously volume is included in the price, but it is sometimes you can have a price bar with the volume skewed at the other end of the price activity. And that's the nuance that you have to learn to read and pick up on, because if you got volume low in a distribution or a bar, it'll retest support and or go lower. And the converse is true if volume is high in the bar. We key off of volume. There's about 3 contributions I've made to the profile world. This long-term distribution to the right side of the screen, the volume overlay over the top of the letters, that all came from me. CQG, I was the first third-party vendor that CQG sponsored, and CQG wasted no time picking it up. Even Pete Stettlemyer picked it up over time, because that's what drives the market. And markets go higher because there's more buyers than sellers. Markets go lower because there's more sellers than buyers. It is that simple. We choose to ignore that quite often, but that is the case. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I will get busy on that. And tell me a little bit more about what you want me to explain about bonds, Scott.